Hi, friends of JMPRO TV. So we're broadcasting from Detroit. So this is the first day of the Allied Media Conference, and we found one very interesting person to talk. I want to let her introduce herself. So,
my name is Simin Farkhondeh, and I'm Education Director at Democracy Now!
What do you do in your position of education organizer?
So we have a broadcast from 8 to 9 live in New York City each weekday, and my job is to do outreach to the education community, to colleges, high schools, middle schools, even elementary, and we have at this time over 1,000 students that come through our studio. So what we do is I talk to the teachers or professors. They will bring their students. So let's say a professor of philosophy or ethics or media studies, or a high school that is studying journalism or government, or an English class, a middle school. They will bring their students early in the morning at 7:30. We show them our control room. We show them all the crew that's working, the producers, video producers, line producers, technical director, behind the scenes, and then we show them the studio as well. Then they sit down. At 8, the show starts, and they watch in our green room. They watch the show both from what's going on to the air and also what is happening in the studio. So they see Amy Goodman, they see Juan Gonzalez, and they see the show guests. They watch the show, and after the show we have a discussion about the show content and really try to demystify and deconstruct how media is made, and also we talk about the issues, So we talk about how is Democracy Now!, this independent media program, this news program, different from corporate media? How is it different from, say, CNN or ABC News and so forth?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but what is the main difference from your point of view between both?
Well, being independent means that we are not funded by corporations or by government, so that makes our journalism much more honest, I think. And, of course, we also really try to cover stories that are not covered at all by the mainstream media, like, for instance, climate change, or like the Standing Rock, North Dakota water protectors. Yes, she broke the story. But we also try to see in the mainstream there are news stories. How can we elaborate and bring more about those particular stories? So we try to give context, give the back history of a situation, and bring the voices that are usually not heard. We like to go where the silence is, where the questions that need to be answered can be answered.
And in this process of education that you're working with different students in different levels, so do you think there are many things to forget and relearn about what is really media?
Absolutely, yes. Oftentimes, people come in and they think that if we have a story that's 10 minutes long, like say about Syria or about climate change, that people would be bored about it because it's so long, and CNN cuts and edits really fast, or ABC cuts and edits really fast. We don't. We let our guests really speak for a while. So the first instance is that we think people don't have any attention span. But I think that they don't have attention span when the story does not touch them. And if it's just numbers and, this person died and that many people died here, or there was this happening here, but you don't hear who those people are, what makes them human, what is their background, who are they, who's their grandmother, where do they go to school. If you don't know the humanity of those people, then you cannot touch that story. It doesn't mean anything to you. And then you don't want to listen, So I think that that is one of the reasons that we are different. Also, bringing the stories that just aren't heard. I think people want to hear that, But that's a very different thing.
That's something that happened with us. So sometimes we are covering events and we're the only ones.
Yeah, that's great that you're doing that work. That is the kind of journalism that we need, right? We need to have the stories covered that are our lives. And I don't think CNN or ABC or any of these corporate, it doesn't matter which ones, they're not interested in that because their goal is different. Their goal is to sell things. They're doing profit. That's the thing. Profit is their goal. Our goal is to bring the stories and to empower and bring information. That's a very different goal. So we have very different paths.
Thank you very much for being here, and for sure we will be talking more so in these coming days. And so this is for all our friends and allies in Asheville, North Carolina. So we'll be covering the Ally Media Conference for 4 days more. So thank you very much, Simin.
Great. Let me give you a card.
Of course. All right, so we got the card now. So we're gonna share the information if you wanna, and we invite you to watch this independent journalism democracy now. So and we got